Hi, welcome to How to Make a Pasta.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Huh.
I'm Richman, and today we'll be teaching you how to make a tomato basil garlic pasta. This is the equipment we'll be using. First, we're going to need the strainer to strain the water out of the noodles. Next, we'll need this pot to cook the noodles in the boiling water in. Make sure it has a lid to contain the heat. We'll also be needing a couple of skillets to cook the onions, meat, and vegetables in. Here are the ingredients we'll be using. We have a wonderful selection of sauces to choose from. Here we have the pasta noodles and the broccoli. Next we'll be cutting up these onions and tomatoes to mix in with the ground beef. Notice the red texture. That's the way you want it. Try not to get too much of this brown texture here on the side.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Looks nice. Look at my hands.
Turn the heat up high to boil the water with. Make sure that the burner light's on to indicate the heat.
Yeah, you're gonna want to heat that on high.
Put
lid
the
on. You gotta contain that heat.
This is the kind of tomato that you're gonna want to use. Notice the fresh red color, and there's no bruises or scars on it.
Cut that up nice and dicey.
Here's an onion we'll use. You're gonna want to peel it and then cut up the portion that you're going to be using. Use a knife like this and make sure that it's sharp.
It's a little sharp knife. You need a sharp knife to really get a good cut. We want to make sure that your hands are a safe distance and you don't cut your fingers at all. You want to try to cut it evenly into, very even proportions, and so that you get it all nice. And usually onions come like this.
Yeah.
Onions are usually ground like this.
Pan's heated up. Put it on the meat there.
We're gonna put the ground beef in and turn the heat up to the appropriate temperature. Make sure it's not too hot, otherwise it will burn the meat. You're going to have to chop the meat up here in order to cook it properly. You're going to want to make sure that it's chopped up nicely and covers the entire bottom of the pan so that the heat can spread evenly through the meat.
There you go.
Ah, this will do nicely.
The red is the raw part of the meat and the brown is getting a little cooked there.
Now we're going to cut the tomato. We're going to start by cutting it into sections and quarters.
Cut it in half.
Next, we're going to cut out the insides of it and slice and dice the remainder. You're going to want to cut off the edges where the stems came out of. This is for quality purposes. Here you can see me slicing it into smaller sections.
And you're going to want to cut off the tips where the root is, because no one wants to eat that.
You can see that the meat's cooking now. Notice how the red has turned into brown.
Alright, meat's getting a little browner now. Right. You can see that it's cooking more and more.
Here's the onion, garlic, and chili flakes we'll be using for our pasta today. These add a nice zest.
Go back to the spices.
We're going to be putting about this much in because there's a large quantity of ground beef, but you don't want to add too much, otherwise it takes away from the full flavor of the pasta. You don't have to use hot red pepper flakes, but it adds a nice zest to it and it makes it a little spicy. Now we're going to add the onions to the pan. Make sure that it's hot and make sure to add olive oil so that it cooks properly and the juices can flow out and make that nice zesty taste.
Everything wants to time up together in the process in the end, so meat starting first so it's getting cooked now, and then onions cook a little faster. See the juices start to come out with that.
This means that it's about done.
Oh, and there we go. The water's boiling.
Looks like the water's done. Is it hot? Oh, yeah, it's pretty hot. Alright, we're going to add the pasta. Here, we used a couple different selections of noodles, but because of the quantity we're using, we used 2 boxes of noodles. It adds a nice little variety to it.
And here's another pan.
We're going to put the diced tomatoes in with the onions now to let them stew for a bit. This adds a nice cooked taste
for the
to
tomatoes.
But don't let them sit in too long.
Be too soggy and cooked, so you just want to really get the juices out and nice like that.
Now you're going to mix these all together to prepare them to be added to the pasta.
That'll be really good. Oh yeah. Gotta mix it up nice and good there.
Yeah, stir it up real good.
And for the broccoli, it's frozen, so we're gonna put that in the strainer and then pour the hot water over that as we dump out the pasta into the strainer because it's done. Nice. Gotta cover all that broccoli in there, so make sure it doesn't freeze.
Add the pasta back into the pot with the broccoli in it. Now we'll add the rest of the ingredients to the large pot so that they can all be mixed together.
The tomatoes, the onions.
That looks tasty. Here's the pasta we'll be using. We decided to use
Garlic marinara.
pour the whole container in
Pour that whole pot in there and stir it all up.
to add to that full and zesty taste.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Now that we're done, all we gotta do is serve up a portion.
Oh, it's a heaping pot. Oh, here it comes.
I'm hungry tonight.
Wow. Fresh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, steamy.
That looks delicious.
Such a disgusting word.
Yeah.
And of course, I like my pasta with a little cheese on top. But, you know, who doesn't?
Here I prepared this nice steaming pile of shit.
How does that taste? Hey, how's that? Oh.
Tastes like shit. Just that shitty taste I've been wanting.
I bet that's good.
We're gonna have to like recut that one
So
at the end,
we're
like,
ready
oh,
for
maybe now we should cover ourselves in it and like dance around the place. I believe it was tomato basil with garlic.